Do you like mysteries? To wander through the enigmatic mist of the inexplicable? Great. I'm Merc, and here you'll find what you're looking for. Welcome to my domains. The truth dissolves into the mist.
High in the shadows of ancient India, beyond temples, dynasties, and empires, there exists a legend so unsettling that even history itself seems reluctant to acknowledge it. A story not written in stone, but whispered through centuries, suggesting that humanity has never truly been alone in shaping its own destiny. Thing are known as the 9 Unknown Men, a secret brotherhood said to have guarded knowledge so powerful that its misuse could end civilizations. According to the legend, this clandestine order was founded in the 3rd century BCE by Emperor Ashoka, one of the most influential rulers in Indian history. Ashoka was not always a symbol of peace. Early in his reign, he was responsible for one of the bloodiest wars the subcontinent had ever witnessed. The Kalinga War, a conflict that left over 100,000 dead. What followed was a transformation that would define his legacy. Haunted by the devastation he caused, Ashoka turned away from conquest and embraced nonviolence, Buddhism, and moral governance. But some accounts suggest his repentance went far deeper than public reform. It is said that Ashoka became aware of dangerous scientific and philosophical knowledge already circulating in the ancient world, knowledge capable of mass destruction if placed in the wrong hands. Rather than erase it, he chose to hide it. Thus, the 9 unknown men were selected, each entrusted with a secret book, each book containing knowledge that could reshape humanity or annihilate it. What makes this legend disturbing is not its mysticism, but its precision. Each book is said to focus on a specific field of forbidden science. One book allegedly details the secrets of mass psychological manipulation, explaining how societies can be controlled through fear, belief, and suggestion. Another is said to contain advanced principles of physiology, including methods to kill or revive using nothing but precise pressure points, techniques that resemble modern neural combat and martial arts far beyond their time. There are claims of a book dedicated entirely to microbiology, describing microorganisms centuries before their official discovery and methods to weaponize them. Another book reportedly explains alchemy, not as mystical fantasy, but as a proto-scientific understanding of matter, energy, and transmutation. Some legends even suggest one volume holds the secrets of gravity, including instructions on how to nullify it, giving rise to ancient accounts of flying machines known as vimanas. Pause for a moment and consider this. If such knowledge truly existed, and if it was preserved, not destroyed, who decides when humanity is ready to access it? And more importantly, who decides when it is not? References to the 9 unknown men do not appear directly in official ancient Indian texts. Instead, they surface in later writings, colonial-era accounts, and oral traditions. In the early 20th century, British writer Talbot Mundy popularized the concept in his novel The 9 Unknown, presenting it as fiction. Yet, Mundy claimed his work was inspired by real rumors circulating among scholars and intelligence circles during British rule in India. This is where the mystery deepens. Several prominent scientists, explorers, and historians have hinted at the existence of secret knowledge networks operating across centuries. Some believe the 9 unknown did not vanish with Ashoka's empire, but instead evolved, passing their books from one guardian to another, generation after generation. Invisible, silent, patient. There are even theories that link the 9 unknown men to modern secret societies. Whispers connect them to groups like the Rosicrucians, early Freemasons, or even shadow organizations within contemporary governments. While such connections remain unproven, They persist with unsettling consistency. Why do different cultures, across different eras, repeat the same idea that some knowledge must remain hidden to protect humanity from itself? Modern science has unintentionally fueled these suspicions. Technologies once considered impossible are now realities. Psychological warfare, biological manipulation, surveillance capable of influencing entire populations. Concepts once attributed to myth are now discussed openly in academic journals. This raises an uncomfortable question. Did we independently discover these ideas, or are we slowly catching up to something that was known long ago? Some Indian scholars argue that the legend of the 9 unknown men is symbolic, representing ethical restraint rather than a literal group. But symbolism alone does not explain the specificity of the books, the recurring references, or the global parallels. Nor does it explain why similar legends exist in China, the Middle East, and Europe, each describing secret custodians of dangerous truths. If the 9 unknown men were only a myth, why does the myth refuse to die? Why does it adapt, resurfacing whenever humanity stands at the edge of technological transformation? And why does it feel less like a fairy tale and more like a warning? As we move deeper into this shadowed narrative, the line between legend and suppressed history becomes increasingly fragile. Because if even part of this story is true, then the greatest secret of our world is not what we do not know, but what has been deliberately kept from us, waiting for the moment when humanity proves whether it deserves the truth. As the centuries passed, empires rose and collapsed. Religions transformed societies, and technology reshaped the human experience. Yet the legend of the 9 unknown men persisted like a shadow that refused to fade. Some accounts suggest that their purpose was never to advance civilization, but to slow it down when progress became dangerous. A silent counterbalance to humanity's tendency towards self-destruction. Throughout history, there are moments that feel strangely interrupted. Sudden collapses of advanced knowledge, inventions abandoned, discoveries delayed by centuries, the burning of libraries, the disappearance of scholars, the loss of entire schools of thought. Coincidence or intervention? Some believe the 9 acted precisely in these moments, ensuring that certain breakthroughs arrived only when humanity could survive them. One of the most unsettling aspects of the legend is the idea that the 9 unknown men were not static guardians, but adaptable observers. They were said to monitor global developments, assessing when knowledge should be revealed and when it should remain buried. This implies a level of foresight that borders on the inhuman, an understanding of history not as a series of events, but as a controlled flow. Consider how often technology outpaces ethics. Nuclear power, genetic engineering, artificial intelligence. Each breakthrough carries the potential to elevate humanity or erase it. The legend suggests that this imbalance is not new, that ancient civilizations already faced similar crossroads, and someone chose secrecy as the lesser evil. There are modern whispers that echo this ancient fear. Anonymous leaks, classified research, scientific black budgets, projects that exist beyond public oversight. While there is no direct evidence linking these to the 9 unknown men, the parallels are difficult to ignore. The structure is the same: compartmentalized knowledge, limited access, absolute silence. Some Indian traditions speak of enlightened beings who work behind the veil of society, not as rulers, but as custodians. Figures who believe that humanity must evolve spiritually before it can be trusted intellectually. In this interpretation, the 9 are not villains or heroes, but guardians burdened by responsibility. They do not seek recognition, only restraint. Yet this raises a darker question. What if their judgment was wrong? What if humanity was meant to struggle, fail, and learn through its own mistakes? By withholding knowledge, did they preserve life, or did they prolong ignorance? And if they still exist, who holds them accountable? There is no proof that the 9 unknown men ever disbanded, no record of the books being destroyed, no confirmation that the knowledge they guarded was ever released. The silence surrounding them is complete, and perhaps intentional, because the most effective secret is not one that is denied, but one that is ridiculed. Today, the legend survives in fragments, in obscure texts, in coded references, in questions that have no answers. It survives because it reflects something deeply human, the fear that we are not in control of our own destiny, and the suspicion that someone else might be. If the 9 unknown men were real, then the world we know is not the product of chance alone, but of deliberate restraint. And if they were not real, then the fact that such a legend exists says something equally disturbing, that humanity believes it needs to be protected from itself. So the question remains, one that history has never resolved. Are the 9 unknown men watching us still, waiting to decide when the next great truth is allowed to surface? Or have we already crossed the threshold they were meant to guard, unaware that the final barrier has fallen? Because if the greatest knowledge ever discovered was hidden away, then perhaps the most dangerous moment is not when it is used, but when it is finally revealed. And when that moment comes, there will be no guardians left to stop what follows.
Did you like this mystery? And what is your theory? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed it, then like and share. I'm Merc, and I'll be waiting for you in the next mystery.